Hello everyone, my name is Lydia Castro and this is my philosophy of education. First off, I would just like to mention that I'm not currently teaching, so most of my experiences are based off of student teaching. From doing the surveys and the syllabus, I found that I didn't just stick with one learning theory. It was actually a mixture of three, which were essentialism, progressivism, and behaviorism. So I would just like to start off by sharing some of my examples from the questionnaire. The first one is from essentialism. Americans have lost sight of what is the true purpose of education. So I think that for me, what I've been seeing is that it's changed a lot to now, where now the focus is more on testing. I saw this a lot in my kindergarten class, and these are just 5 or 6 year old children. And while I was testing one of my students, I could just see the stress on her face because she knew that she was being tested, and then it's, I guess, a way to define her. And this is a child that is only 5 years old, and you could just see the worry in her face. And that's, I think, where, education has sort of lost its purpose. Another one would be learning should be directly related to the interest of the learner. And I definitely believe that students do better in class when you incorporate some of their interests into, some of the subject matter. I've seen it before in also my sixth grade class while student teaching. There are those students who in class who that sometimes the teacher believes that they are not working to their full potential, or they just think that the students are goofing off. But in reality, it has to do a lot with the students' interests. They're just not interested in the subject. So if you incorporate it into the lesson, I believe the students will do better. So I think that's one of the reasons why learning should also be related to the interest of the learner. Another one would be most behaviors can be taught, changed, or modified. And I definitely believe that we learn from one another, and also students learn from their teachers and their peers. So certain behaviors they will pick up not knowing them. And I think we have to do our best, if we want our students to behave a certain way, then we have to lead by example. So we have to make sure that they don't also pick up, the behaviors that we don't want them to. Another one would be the best methods of classroom management are based on clearly defined and firmly enforced rules. And this is definitely true for classrooms. I think once you set certain rules, the classroom would run more smoothly, as long as you have clear expectations and you model exactly what those rules can be. Students will know what you expect from them and the rules that they are supposed to follow. I think also when it comes to classroom management, I find myself that I lean more towards behaviorism and progressivism. So with classroom management, I like to monitor a lot, use reward systems, and also I think the classroom should be more community centered, and a lot of also group activities. And when it comes to my teaching methods, I found also that it was a mix of essentialism and progressivism. So there are times where, yes, I do like to have like lecture or discussions, but I also like to have cooperative learning activities and a lot of activities that also require critical thinking. And for the teacher, I guess of what the teacher should be for the students, I also have it linked more towards progressivism. So I feel like the teacher should be a guide or facilitator for the students, but would be only for, I guess, in my case, my opinion would be for upper elementary students. The teacher should be the guide. Since the teacher would be the guide, I don't think it's not the teacher's role to give the students all the answers. I would like to have the students learn to think on their own and come up with their own questions as well. Lastly, I would like to say that, my philosophy of education is not, completely established just to one learning theory. But there's also the possibility that, once I am in the classroom, it might change, and I am open to that. So I'm curious to see, what type of teacher I would become once I'm in the classroom.